Good morning, everyone. It's Donna Maria, and welcome to the Lifestyle CEO Show, where we empower you to enjoy your life, build your business, and have your way. I'm your host, Donna Maria from donnamaria.com, and I'm excited to be here with you this morning. I want you to share this with your friends. If you have a business and if you are interested in making it stronger, if you are interested in growing it in community and creating your own little ecosystem of success, I want you to share this short video because it will be helpful to you and also helpful to your entrepreneurial colleagues and friends. So I'm going a little bit early today because I actually have a meeting that starts at 10 o'clock and I want to be on time for that. So I'm doing this a little bit early today. I'm sorry that I didn't give you any notice, but thank goodness for technology, right? You can watch the replay and get everything that you need. So today I want to talk to you about how to start your own mastermind group. Okay, this is really important. And guess what? My 10 o'clock meeting is my mastermind group. So we meet every month on the same day of the month, every month. And we support each other, we encourage each other, and we hold each other accountable. So for those of you who are asking me a lot, like I get a lot of emails from people who want mentoring. I get a lot of emails from people who have a lot of questions, and I'm so happy to answer those. But honestly, it's hard to mentor everyone and one-on-one. What I do, my mentoring, I do it here on the show. I do it on my podcast that I host. I do it at live events that I host and retreats and things of that nature. That's where I do most of my mentoring. So pay attention to these shows because they are really mentoring sessions for you. Make sure you take notes. Make sure you're actually using them. So again, thank you for joining me. If you're on the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Type below if you're here live. So happy to have you. Let me know that you're here. So listen. Mentors are really great things to have, and I'm going to do another show on that. But even if you don't have a mentor, or even if you are still hunting for some mentors who can mentor you, and again, I'm going to do a really good show on that, so stay tuned for that. You can create your own little ecosystem of success using the people who are already in your circle of entrepreneurial friends. And what you can do is create a mastermind group. So I've written several blog posts on this. You can Google Indie Business Network Mastermind Group and you can read a little bit. But what I want to do right now is share three main things that you need to keep in mind when you're setting up a mastermind group in terms of the purposes of the group, and then three main things you want to keep in mind as you choose people to mastermind with. So let's start with the three things to keep in mind as you're setting up the group. Okay, so the purposes of a mastermind group can be anything you want them to be. Like it could be like, how to throw a ball faster, how to jump higher, how to cook better pasta. It could be you can mastermind these things because you can always learn from other people and get better. But when it comes to a business mastermind, the things that you want to make sure you're doing, you may be doing a lot of things, but here's three things you want to make sure you're doing. Number one, you want to make sure that you're building in accountability. Okay, and this means that you're not just getting together to chit chat about what you're doing and how hard it is. Like, God, we can all get like down a rabbit hole about that. But you're actually going to talk to each other about the goals that you set, and you're going to hold each other accountable. So you're going to say things like, where is that blog post you said you were going to write? Where is that ebook? Where is that new website that you said you were going to launch? And you had a schedule and it was supposed to launch on June the 1st and it's June the 4th and it still hasn't launched. Like, what's going on with that? You want to be able to mastermind with people who will hold you accountable and hit the ball back to you really hard, because that's how you're going to get better. So accountability is the first thing. The second thing you want to do is you want to find people who are at parity with you in business. Now, this doesn't mean that everybody makes the same amount of money and everybody's been in business for the exact same amount of time. But what it does mean is that you don't have a mastermind group with people who've been in business for 15 years in the same group with people who've been in business for 3 years. And the reason why is because the people who've been in business for the shorter amount of time don't really have anything to offer the people who've been in business for 15 years. Now, don't take this the wrong way. Don't get me twisted on this. I don't mean that people who've only been in business for a short period of time don't have anything to share and then we can't learn from them. We absolutely can learn from them. But what you want to make sure you do for mastermind purposes is you want to be around people who've had similar experiences. They've gone through some of the same things and they're about at the same place in their leadership roles in their business, because their businesses have evolved to a certain point. And when you get people together who have had the similar experiences, who've had some of the same challenges, they're dealing with a different set of issues than people who are just starting out. And the people who are just starting out are dealing with a different set of issues from the people who've been in business for a long time. So you want to make sure that you establish this kind of parity. So when you set up your mastermind group, you want to know about the people you're inviting to join. How long have they been in business? You can look at people's websites and read their blog posts and email newsletters and their stories and find that out. You want generally to, mastermind with people at the general same income level where their businesses are concerned. Not exactly the same, and it doesn't have to be the same, but there needs to be some sort of parity there in terms of that. There also needs to be some parity in terms of, their energy level and where they want to go with their businesses. Like, you don't necessarily want to mastermind with someone who really is designing their business to, get all their products into Walmart and all their products into all the grocery store chains in America, if you just only want to sell online. Now, again, I'm not saying that there's nothing to learn from each other there, but for true masterminding, you kind of want to get together with people who are trying to do some similar things, so you can be experiencing similar things and you can learn from each other in similar ways. So the third thing you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that you set some parameters and schedules. Like, you don't want to just mastermind when everyone feels like it. You don't want to just mastermind when it's convenient. You want to mastermind in a way that lends itself to the kind of accountability that moves everybody forward. So every 2 weeks or every month at the same time, so people can adjust their schedules in advance. So there's no excuses for not showing up. There's no excuses for being late. There's no excuses for forgetting, right? Because you have a calendar and it's all laid out, and emergencies happen and we all understand that. But that should be the exception. It should not be the rule. And if it is, something's going to need to change, because when some people come ready to mastermind and other people aren't there to pour into them, that's just not a fair situation. And so you want to, again, have parity in terms of experiences and also parity in terms of commitment to the group. So those are 3 things you want to make sure you keep in mind when you're selecting people to be in your group. Now, let's talk a little bit about 3 things to keep in mind when it comes to actually, doing the mastermind. So you want to make sure that you have some very specific goals that people are encouraged to set. So the more specific those goals are, the more likely people are to meet them. Write them down, use a planner, take notes, and pay attention to what other people are saying so you can keep up with what they're doing. And, if they say they're going to do something and it's not done, that happens. Okay, that's business. It's not unusual for that to happen. But when it does happen, it's like, what are you going to replace that goal with? Or how are you going to change that deadline? You said you would have it done by June 1st. It's not done. So what are you going to change that to July 1st? Are you going to drop it off the list of things altogether? How is all that going to work so that it's not just, well, I didn't do that and I'm just going to move on and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Like, you really want to make sure that you come to the table with something for people to sink their teeth into. Okay. So this really helps you stay on the ball in your business. And that's a really helpful thing for everyone, right? Then the next thing you want to make sure that you're doing is that you are taking the time to invest in other people. Like, really query them, ask them, what's going on? How can I help you? What sorts of things can I do to help you drive the ball forward or push the ball forward? You want to make sure that your partners, your mastermind partners, know that you are invested in them and that you care about what happens to them and that you're keeping track with the things that they're doing. And you want to be there to support and encourage them as you're also holding them accountable, right? And so the next thing I want you to really, really do is I want you to strongly consider making sure that you have physical time together. Okay, so it's really great to have a virtual mastermind. I participate in a virtual mastermind, but we meet each other 3 or 4 times a year in person. And that really helps to solidify the business relationship. It also helps sometimes to grow the personal side of the relationship. It gives you a chance to talk about your business in a setting that's a little bit less formal, in a setting that maybe includes some fun things like spa, Like that's a lot of fun. I like to do that when I meet my mastermind partners, go to the spa together and just relax and have a good time and celebrate the spoils of being an entrepreneur. And that's a lot of fun. So, and I also have a mastermind group that I meet with in person in my community. And that's a lot of fun. And because we get to see each other physically a lot, it's really great. And so the relationships continue inside the mastermind group and outside the mastermind group, kind of support each other on all those different levels. But what I don't want you to do is not think about doing this. Okay. So I know I get a lot of questions from people who ask me, they ask me, will you mentor me? And I hope videos like this are actually mentoring you, because I want to do that. It's the desire of my heart to put myself out there in a way that does mentor you. But I want to remind you that you have people that can mentor you in your own backyard. And a mastermind group is one way to do that. So find entrepreneurs in your area, maybe join the local chamber of commerce, perhaps go to some networking events, that you don't even have to be a member, just go to some networking events and you can meet some similarly situated people. And everyone is hungry for this. If you have a business that you want to succeed, you are always interested in bouncing ideas off of other entrepreneurs. I mean, there's not a lot of things that are that much fun when you have a business, actually. If you're really into it like I am, it's fun to do that. So it shouldn't be too hard to find people who are interested in masterminding with you, but it will be a challenge, and I can tell you this from experience. It will be a challenge to find people who will be accountable and who will be willing to adjust their schedules to meet with regularity. And if you don't do that, the group will not work. Like, it will not work. So, keep your spidey senses alert and make sure that if you've got somebody who's saying, oh yeah, I can do that every Monday at whatever time. If you have a feeling that's not the case, then you pay attention to your gut instinct, right? Because mastermind groups work because the people work together and because they're willing to sacrifice some of their business time, their personal business time, their personal time to come together in this group to sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey would say in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Number 7 is sharpening the saw. That's what we're doing. When you have a mastermind group, you're getting together with people and you're making sure that your knife doesn't get dull. Right? You're making sure of that. So if you really want to make sure your knife doesn't get dull, you want to be careful about who you surround yourself with, because we are most like the 5 or 7 people that we surround ourselves with most. That's true personally, but it's also true in business. So if you are super aggressive entrepreneur, you probably don't want to mastermind with people who are more laid back on a regular basis, right? Because there's going to be a little bit of a mismatch. They're always going to feel like they're not doing enough, and you're always going to feel like you're doing stuff and nobody's doing anything. So be very careful about who you select, and you can set up a group on your own. You don't have to wait for people to come to you. And I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to take the lead and get things done. Because as much as a lot of people say they want a mastermind, a lot of times they really don't want to do the work that makes the mastermind happen. They kind of want to show up. So, it's just kind of life, right? So if you want to lead the mastermind group, then take the bull by the horns and do that. Decide what you want your group to look like. Decide how many people you want to get started with. And I would suggest 3. Okay, don't try to find 10 people at first. Just find 3. Just start with 3 and be patient. Don't expect everybody to, make a whole bunch of money the first month, or don't expect everybody to meet every single goal. That's not going to happen. So just take a deep breath and think about the fact that a mastermind group will sharpen you. It will make you a better leader. It will help you to achieve your goals, and it will make sure that you have the support you need to grow your business. But it will only do that if you carefully choose the people that are in the group with you. So make sure you do that. Okay? So how to start a mastermind group for your business. I hope this has been helpful to you. This is one of my most favorite topics. So listen, if you have a question below, post it. Okay? Post a question about this. Your question may be, how do I invite people? How do I set an agenda? How do I ask people to exit the mastermind group if things aren't working out. That happens sometimes. And, you know, if you're leading the group, you're the person that's going to have to take that bull by the horns too. Because just because you have a great group doesn't mean that everybody who's in it at the beginning belongs there at the end. Okay. And the truth is that sometimes relationships have to evolve and mastermind groups have to evolve. And it can be uncomfortable, but it can also be very necessary because you have to guard your time as an entrepreneur. You can't be wasting your time with any situation, whether it's people or things or whatever, that's not getting you someplace in your business. So your time is your most valuable asset. So make sure you are investing that time in a mastermind group with other people who have the same sort of a mindset about what they're trying to accomplish in their businesses and their mastermind group as you do. So post your questions below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you tomorrow again in the morning. Tomorrow I'll be here at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 7 o'clock a.m. Pacific. I won't be early tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.